Please, just one baby.
Money doesn't build family.
In the dim glow of a lavish penthouse overlooking the glittering skyline of New York City, Elena Voss stood frozen, her perfectly manicured hands trembling as she clutched a crumpled letter. "Please," she whispered, her voice breaking for the first time in years, "I'm begging you." Across from her, Jack Harlan, a rugged single dad with calloused hands from years of manual labor, shook his head slowly. His eyes, filled with a mix of pity and resolve, delivered the words that shattered her world. "No amount of money can buy what you're asking for. Not from me." What happened next? Stick around to find out in this heart-wrenching tale of love, loss, and unexpected redemption. If you're already hooked, smash that like button and subscribe for more stories that tug at your heartstrings. You won't want to miss what's coming. Elena Voss had everything the world could offer. At 38, she was the CEO of Vostech, a multi-billion-dollar empire built on cutting-edge AI and renewable energy solutions. Her face graced the covers of Forbes and Time, her name synonymous with power and innovation. Mansions in Malibu, private jets, a yacht docked in Monaco, she had it all. But beneath the glossy exterior, Elena carried a void that no acquisition or merger could fill. She wanted a child. Desperately. Years of fertility treatments had failed, her relationships crumbled under the weight of her ambition, and now, time was her cruelest enemy. Adoption agencies turned her away, citing her high-profile lifestyle as unstable for a child. Surrogacy? She'd tried, but complications arose every time. In her quiet moments, alone in her sprawling bedroom, Elena would stare at ultrasound photos from failed attempts, tears staining her silk pillows. "Why me?" she'd whisper to the empty room. But Elena wasn't one to accept defeat. She decided on a bold, unconventional path: find a donor who embodied the qualities she admired: strength, kindness, integrity, and make him an offer he couldn't refuse. That's how she found Jack Harlan. Scrolling through profiles on a discreet donor database late one night, his photo caught her eye. A 35-year-old widower from a small town in upstate New York, Jack was a carpenter by trade, raising his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, alone after his wife, Sarah, died in a car accident 3 years earlier. His bio was simple: honest, hardworking father. Donating to help families like the one I lost. No frills, no ego. Elena's research team dug deeper. Social media posts showed him coaching Little League, volunteering at the local shelter, and sharing heartfelt tributes to his late wife. He was real, grounded, the antithesis of the polished executives in her world. "He's perfect," she told her assistant, her voice steady with determination. She arranged a meeting under the guise of a business consultation, flying him to the city on her dime. Little did she know, this single dad would turn her meticulously planned life upside down. Jack arrived at her office looking out of place in his faded jeans and flannel shirt amid the sleek glass and chrome. He was taller than she'd imagined, with broad shoulders honed from swinging hammers and kind hazel eyes that crinkled when he smiled. "Ms. Voss," he said, shaking her hand firmly, "I'm not sure why a big shot like you wants to talk to a guy who builds decks for a living, but I'm here." Elena wasted no time. Over coffee in her private lounge, she laid it out: she wanted him to be her sperm donor. Exclusively. In return, $5 million, plus ongoing support for Lily's education and future. "It's not just about the money," she explained, her tone professional yet pleading. "I see in you the kind of man I'd want my child to emulate. Strong, compassionate. You've built a life from hardship, that's what I need." Jack listened quietly, his face unreadable. When she finished, he leaned back, rubbing his stubbled jaw. "That's a generous offer, ma'am." "But no." Elena blinked, stunned. No one ever said no to her. "Why not? Name your price." He shook his head. "It's not about price. Sarah and I, we dreamed of a big family. After she passed, Lily's all I have. Donating anonymously is one thing, but this? Knowing there's a kid out there with my blood, raised by someone I barely know? I can't do that. Family isn't a transaction. Elena didn't give up easily. Over the next few weeks, she pursued him relentlessly. Emails, calls, even showing up at his workshop unannounced. Think about Lily, she'd argue. This could change her life. Jack remained firm, but polite. Deep down, though, he was intrigued by Elena. She was fierce, unyielding, yet he glimpsed vulnerability in her eyes, a loneliness that mirrored his own. One evening, after she'd driven 3 hours to his modest home, he invited her in for dinner. Lily, a curly-haired bundle of energy, greeted her with wide eyes. "Are you a princess? Daddy says you live in a castle." Elena laughed, a genuine sound that surprised even her. As they ate spaghetti at the kitchen table, Elena watched Jack interact with his daughter, the way he patiently helped her with homework, the bedtime stories filled with silly voices. It stirred something in her, a longing not just for a baby, but for this kind of warmth. That night, as she drove back to the city, tears blurred the highway lights. For the first time, her desire felt less like a goal and more like a ache for connection. But challenges mounted. Elena's board of directors grew restless, rumors of her personal distractions leaked to the press. Tabloids speculated wildly, billionaire boss baby drama. Her stress manifested in sleepless nights and snapped tempers at work. Meanwhile, Jack faced his own trials. Lily's school called, she was acting out, missing her mom more than ever. "Daddy, why don't I have a mommy like other kids?" she'd ask, her small voice breaking his heart. Jack confided in his sister, who urged him to reconsider Elena's offer. "It's a lot of money, bro. And she's not some stranger anymore." But Jack couldn't shake his principles. Family meant presence, not paychecks. Then came the turning point. Elena invited Jack and Lily to her beach house for a weekend, framing it as a no-strings getaway. Reluctantly, he agreed, hoping to show Elena why he couldn't budge. The weekend started awkwardly. Elena, used to orchestrating every detail, overdid it with catered meals and hired nannies. Lily splashed in the waves, giggling as Jack built sandcastles. Elena watched from afar, her designer sundress feeling out of place on the gritty shore. That evening, around a bonfire, stories flowed. Elena opened up about her childhood, absent parents, boarding schools, success as her only companion. "I built an empire to prove I didn't need anyone," she admitted, staring into the flames. "But now, I do." Jack shared about Sarah, their high school sweetheart days, the joy of Lily's birth, the devastating crash that stole her away. "Grief doesn't end," he said softly. "It just changes shape." As Lily dozed on his lap, Elena reached out, her hand brushing his. For a moment, the world narrowed to just them, two broken souls seeking wholeness. Disaster struck the next day. Lily wandered too far into the surf, a rogue wave knocking her down. Jack dove in without hesitation, pulling her to safety, coughing and scared. Elena, panicking, called her private medic. In the chaos, old wounds reopened. "This is why I can't do this," Jack shouted later, as Lily slept. "You live in a bubble, Elena. Real life is messy, dangerous. A kid needs more than money, they need someone there, every day." Elena fired back, hurt turning to anger. "And you think you're perfect? Hiding behind your grief, afraid to let anyone in." Words hung heavy, regrets immediate. That night, Elena sat alone on the balcony, sobbing. She'd pushed too hard, lost sight of what mattered. Jack, pacing his guest room, realized his refusal wasn't just about principles, it was fear. Fear of moving on, of risking his heart again. Resolution dawned with the sunrise. Jack found Elena on the beach, knees in the sand, looking small and defeated. "I'm sorry," he said, sitting beside her. "I've been holding on to the past so tight, I forgot there's room for more." Elena looked up, eyes red-rimmed. "I thought money could fix everything. But seeing you with Lily. I want that. Not just a baby, but a family." In a twist neither expected, Jack proposed a different path. "No donation. No deal. But maybe, we try this together. As partners. If you're willing to step out of your world and into mine." Elena's heart soared. It wasn't the plan she'd scripted, but it felt right. They started slow, dates, visits, blending their lives. Challenges persisted. Elena learned to navigate small-town gossip. Jack adapted to her high-stakes world. Lily blossomed with a new auntie who read her stories and baked, terribly, cookies. Months turned to years. Elena stepped back from CEO duties, focusing on philanthropy. She and Jack married in a quiet ceremony, Lily as flower girl. And then, miraculously, after letting go of control, Elena conceived naturally. Their son, named after Sarah's father, arrived amid tears of joy. The family thrived, a blend of billionaire polish and blue-collar grit. Elena's empire funded community centers, inspired by Jack's values. Jack found purpose beyond carpentry, mentoring at-risk kids. In the end, Elena realized true wealth wasn't in bank accounts, but in the messy, beautiful bonds of love. Jack learned that opening his heart didn't betray the past, it honored it. Their story became a beacon. No matter your status, family is built on choice, not chance. If this tale moved you, remember, life's greatest surprises come when we least expect them. Like, subscribe, and share your own stories in the comments. Who knows? Yours might inspire the next one.